Ja, vi kör. Hej allihopa, välkomna.
Tack.
Faktiskt så många välkomna. Vi ligger på Vulkanisatören TV som gör ett program om kol som blir före detta hemlist som lyckas bli helt rent från en dag till en annan Ibogain, precis som jag var. Jag träffade honom nere i drag när jag var nere och nere. Så nu kan någon finna regelsystem som gör en grej om honom. En film som heter faktiskt som plockar ut pengarna. Jag har ju då som de flesta vet varit drogheroinmissbruk eller letat drogfrihet, inte hittat det på något sätt, på något av de vanliga sätten som finns. Och sen så fick jag höra talas om Ibogain som jag inte hade hört om. Någonstans jag slog upp det på internet, fick 3,5 miljoner träffar. Började läsa om det och trodde inte det var sant. Jag läste 200-300 fallbeskrivningar. Jag trodde inte det var sant. Så jag tog mig ner till Prag, jag tog mig ner till Patrick som då har gjort någonstans 150-200 behandlingar. Och tog behandling. Och Ibogain är alltså narkotikaklass i Sverige. Det är i samma klass som heroin eller LSD. Det är alltså högsta narkotikaklassen. I Sverige och 3-4 länder till det, så i resten av världen så är det bara naturmedel. Vi försökte köra i Norge, då svarade Livsmedelsverket som sa att om ni vill kurera narkomaner med havrefin eller socker eller Ibogain så tog vi inte ställning till det. Så att det är alltså, måste vi knarka någonstans, helt med någon annanstans. Jag tog bara de här kapslarna i Prag och så fick jag en starkaste upplevelse. Jag har fått den tyngsta psykedeliska resan, för det är ett väldigt starkt psykedeliskt ämne. Jag tappade kontroll över kroppen som man gör så gott som och låg i stort sett orörlig i 12 timmar. Innan man gjorde läkarundersökning, det är ganska viktigt att kolla, för det är starkt fysiskt, att kolla att det funkar, att man kroppen orkar med den behandlingen. Det här tycks att med hela tiden, och man har alltså en livräddningsutrustning med. Sen vaknade jag upp och sen tog det ungefär 2 dygn innan jag kunde gå på muggen själv. Och så dess var jag ointresserad här. Jag har knackat länge och mycket. Och det är inte bara min historia. Det här är gång efter gång som det händer. Det är bara att läsa. Så därför, alltså med tanke på hur mycket missbruk det finns, hur mycket problem det är med missbruk och allt, så tänker jag att jag försöker göra någonting. Så att jag startar en stiftelse. Jag försöker få det på något sätt så vi kan få behandla mer här i Sverige. Jag vet inte hur man går tillväga i det själv, men det var i en början. Jag håller på att bygga upp en hemsida med information som då ska försöka hålla 2 nivåer. Det är ganska lättbegripligt så att alla kan gå in och lite hopp och läsa glada historier. Och så är det en ganska tung vetenskaplig avdelning för de som överdelar faktiskt som ger seriositet åt det. Med en inriktning på att få legaliserat för social hänvisningar och lösa allt det här. Och så finns det ett forum där man kan babbla med varandra och ställa frågor. Jag är så här, på forumet har vi då en tråd där Patrick kan svara på lite avancerade frågor. Det kommer finnas fallbeskrivningar. Jag har själv gått med en del tolkningar och hjälpt mig genom behandlingen och så. Det jag saknade innan jag inte min behandling, jag vågade först inte. Jag saknade någon vanlig svensk med heroinbakgrund. Och frågan var, jag hittade en norska som hade gjort det som psykedelisk erfarenhet och hela tiden. Men jag hittade liksom ingen, och det gick med att träffa första gången och backa och försöka skrämma av själv. Så att jag hittade ingen att prata med som hade gjort det här. Det är inte var läskigt på det. Så jag gjorde det, jag fanns inte så mycket att välja på. Och sen så bara vände det. Och ja, därför snullade på lite. Jag bjöd hit Patrick för att berätta. Han kan oss ganska mycket om det här. Och det kan vara ett föredrag om en timme så. Sen är det öppet för frågor. Både då utifrån missbrukarsynpunkt, rent vetenskapliga och så vidare. Så att mer kan jag inte säga just nu. Paul ska jag säga några ord. Paul är alltså en engelsk kille. Jag träffade honom för 2-3 månader sedan. Han var alltså... Vad lång är vi inne i?
Sen tidningen här.
Han har suttit fast 17 år med heroin och aldrig kommit loss. Och han gjorde den här Ibogain-behandlingen. 2 behandlingar med ungefär en veckas mellanrum. Och det är inte heller sug. Och det är det som är så otroligt. Varenda gång när man, jag har en dag 5 gånger, varenda gång så har det mest varit som en promenad till nästa återfall. Även för att man har tyckt att det är coolt så har det varit det. Känslan nu är helt annorlunda. Den är totalt annorlunda i kroppen och i själen. Och exakt vad som händer, det vet jag inte direkt och exakt så berättat. Så att jag lämnar ordet till Paul och jag tycker att det ska kunna komma så många. Hjärtligt ljud.
Hi everyone, my name's Paul and I used to be a drug addict. First of all, I have no financial interest in this stuff whatsoever. I just need to get a message out to other drug addicts that there's a different way of life and a different kind of detox. I took drugs for over 20 years. I got cross-addicted. I got addicted to every drug I took, starting out with marijuana, moving on to amphetamine, and eventually cocaine, crack cocaine, and heroin, as well as prescribed medication, Valium, Subutex, methadone, and all various substances, and also SSRI, antidepressants from my GP, which was on for 15 years. And for the 20 years of drug using, for 18 of them, I wanted to stop, but couldn't find a way. My drug using quickly became not fun, but I couldn't stop. And it's not for the want of trying. I've been in 8 or 9 private rehabilitation centres and tried numerous detoxes, including slow methadone reduction detox, which lasts for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's just like living in hell for 8 or 9 weeks. And even for months after that, when you took your last bit of methadone, you're still actually in secondary withdrawals. I've been on maintenance drugs such as Subutex. I got stuck on them for 2 years and I couldn't do a slow reduction. I've had naltrexone injected into my veins to rip out the opiates from my brain straight away, and that's not a very nice detox either. I've also done clonidine detoxes, which is like lowering blood pressure, and and that's quite uncomfortable and lasts a very long time, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. So it's not for the one of trying to stop taking drugs, because I really wanted to. I do detoxes, I've been in treatment centres for 8 weeks, and on the day I left the treatment centre, I'd go and take drugs because of the addictive thinking. Once that thought came into my head that I wanted to take drugs, it turned from thought to a craving, and before I got home from the detox centre, I'd go and take drugs. And I couldn't understand why. I didn't know why. I just know that I wanted to get clean. I tried, and as soon as the thought came in, I'd be off to go in drugs. And this Ibogain, I knew there had to be something different from conventional detoxes. And it took me 7 years to find this stuff. Every day I was searching. I knew there had to be something. And after 7 years, I eventually found it. And I went to Prague and Patrick treated me. I haven't touched drugs since. I've had no cravings, no thoughts, no desire. And this stuff, I'm living proof that it works. It's very, very different. People are scared of it because there's not been much medical trials done with it. And I do hope one day that these people in government that are actually clueless about addiction will listen to people like myself, Patrick and Michael, and maybe we could have a lot of people because it works. It's as simple as that. It works. I hope everybody has something else to add. Thank you.
Just okej, det var bra. Ja, det var bra. Bra. Hur är läget?
Okay, so thank you for coming. I told you beforehand. First, English is not my native tongue. I'm half Italian, half Czech, so these are my native tongues. Second, I'm quite a shy person. Third, I'm not very much used to presentations. So please take all that into consideration. Right. Alright, so let's have to start somehow the presentation. Okay, who I am. My name is Patrick Venlayo. I'm an Ibogain treatment provider since January 2000, but I'm also known under the name Brian Mariano, where also on the brochures, on the blue ones, you'll see the name Brian Mariano. It's also still on my website, this name, but I'm going to change it soon. One of the reasons, of course, was, I mean, my real name was not meant to be a secret, but just I was not very satisfied with my last name, which is phonetically quite difficult. So people, you know, I guess, you know, when people change your name or last name, it doesn't feel very nice. And also, it gave me some level of privacy, which I really wanted, because I mean I've been a couple of times on TV, Czech Republic, and I felt more comfortable this way. Yeah, actually, one of the reasons also lately was that Mike told me that you know, Brian Mariano sounds in Swedish almost exactly like Brian Mariana. Which explains to me that it's like hash marijuana. So I thought, well, am I Mr. Split? No. So he told me it's high time to get back to my real name. So let's go from the one where what is Ibogain? I suppose that most of you already know basically what is Ibogain. Ibogain is simply one single alkaloid that is present in the root bark of this African shrub called Tabernate Iboga, they call it Eboka, that area in Gabon, Cameroon. So it's not a mixture of substances like ayahuasca. It's just one single alkaloid. Basically, it's got psychoactive properties that have been used in rituals, rites of passage, by the local people, by the local cults in Gabon, Cameroon, that area, for hundreds, maybe even thousands of years. And of course, without having a clue about the potential therapeutical effects of this substance. Okay. And what happened in 1962, a guy from New York called Howard Lotto, that was on drugs, happened to try this substance, and he did it, and after a couple of days, he realized that he's got no withdrawals, no cravings, that he's addiction-free. And I think he was 19 at that time. 20 years later, in 1982, he got back to this discovery and founded a company, MBA International, with the intent to treat people in a clinic in Panama with Ibogain. Unfortunately, he got bankrupt, and then one day some self-help groups started to treat fellow addicts with Ibogain. Then some Ibogain treatment providers popped up, and I'm one of them. Basically, I joined this very small, specific community in January 2000. Basically, I happened to know about Ibogain in 1999 through a friend, internet stuff. Flew to New York to attend this first international conference on Ibogain held at the New York University. And then immediately in January, I got introduced to this kind of work by an experienced Ibogain treatment provider who gave me the basic know-how. And then in the spring of the same year, I started to treat my own addicts, and I continued to do this work nowadays. Now, my concept with this PowerPoint presentation was to put there like some key words or sentences that I'd like you to remember, because of course English is not your native tongue either, And if you see like the basic things in Swedish, then perhaps it would help. Actually, it's also the first time I use a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, let's start. Well, it works. Okay. So, there are basically three kinds of ibogaine. Ibogaine hydrochloride. It's ibogaine hydrochloride. It's this alkaloid stabilized in the form of salt. It's the most used form of ibogaine in treatment. So most used. There are only few ibogaine treatment providers all over the world. So most used. I use it as well, and using this kind, I always know precisely how much ibogaine I give that particular person. Total extract of alkaloid, also called Indra extract, because at one point it was sold by from a website called Indra, and yes. So the total extract means basically this. In this root bar, there are different alkaloids. Ibogaine, ibogaine, many others. And ibogaine is just one of them. So the total extract is like the mixture of this alkaloid extracted from this root bar. Basically, the ibogaine hydrochloride is extracted from the total extract. Next one, please. Okay. Raw powder from the root bar. The root bar is chopped in pieces and powder made out of it. Okay, that's the worst possible form of ibogaine for treatment or whatever. The withdrawals will stay there, and it will just feel terribly stomach sick. So I really don't recommend to anybody not just trying the raw powder, but also trying to use the ibogaine on themselves, because one has to know what is doing with ibogaine. Next one, please. Okay, indications. Addiction. Okay, so addiction to almost any drug. I don't think it would work much with addiction to marijuana, addiction to benzos, and some other things. But it works very well for opiates, cocaine, crack cocaine, methamphetamines, alcohol, partially cigarettes, and and that's about it. Now, opiates. There are, okay, there was yeah, I was just getting to it. There are different kinds of opiates, of course. And there's quite a big difference according to the level of physical dependency that you can get from that particular opiate according to that particular dose. So, for example, the chemical dependency, the physical dependency to morphine, heroin, likely is much less strong than, for example, the physical addiction to stronger opiates like methadone or supertans. So, of course, the more physically addictive is that particular opiate, the more is the dose, the harder it is to detox from it. Also with the help of the Ibogain. So at one point it's better to switch to a less potent opiate, take down the dosage, and then start the treatment. Well, these are already details. So these are opiates. Cocaine works very well. It takes away the cravings in a magnificent way. Crack cocaine, I guess you know that doesn't create really very much physical addiction, but just like psychological addiction. So very good for crack cocaine. Methamphetamines also works very well on methamphetamine addiction. In Britain or US, I guess it's called crystal meth, something like that. In the Czech Republic, we've got very powerful methamphetamine that is called ferritin, and people on ferritin react to the Ibogain very badly. They get a very strong bad trip that lasts for about 2 hours, and the pain is mainly psychological, not so much physical. But at the end of these 2 hours, they're very exhausted, but then they're basically craving free. So it works, but still, I mean, a more humane way how to treat them without has to be set up. Now, lately I happened to treat also a Swedish guy hooked on methamphetamine, and I was quite worried that he would react in a similar way, but he didn't. So there must be some chemical difference between this ferritin and this Swedish methamphetamine. It's good to use on binge drinkers. That means that one is not really an alcoholic in the sense that the person has to drink on a daily basis, otherwise feels safe. But he drinks several days and he's clean for some time, then again relapses. So there's just the psychological dependency to it, not physical. If there's the physical addiction, that means that the person is really like alcoholic. It needs first to go through a standard detox, get to 0, and then we can work without being on the cravings and psychological issues and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty. Unfortunately, it doesn't work very much on addiction to smoking. In 50% of the cases, the first cigarettes after the Ibogain treatment don't taste very well. They don't taste at all. But the habit of taking the cigarette by itself, I mean, the ritual is so strong that they just keep on trying till it tastes well again. So, I mean, I've had a couple of people that quit smoking after the first time doing treatment, but these are really an exception, and they were not addicted to drugs. I have seen an addict, and they all smoke. I haven't seen an addict to quit smoking cigarettes after the Ibogain treatment. But what does happen often is that the amount of cigarettes gets reduced. I mean, there's a certain reduction in the quantity of cigarettes in a 2-month time frame, but in many cases not, of course. So maybe acupuncture is much more effective in this way. So, next one, please. Specific psychiatric disorders. That's, for example, post-traumatic stress disorder, which means anyone that goes through a traumatic episode, like, for example, car accident, sexual abuse in childhood, war traumas, have a very deep and long-term effect on the person. So the person is not really in itself anymore, is quite uneasy, can wake up in the middle of the night completely sweaty because he constantly relives the same event over and over again. So Ibogain seems quite active in this. It can be also used in cases of bulimia, which is not anorexia. Anorexia is when usually it's a female just almost doesn't eat anything and she gets like golden skin. Bulimia is just that the person eats, feels guilty about it, and vomits. She eats, vomits. So that's bulimia. Of course, I can get back to it when I tell you about specific cases. So, of course, at the end, you can have all the questions you want. So, the next one. Other psychological problems, normal depression, anxiety. But I mean, anything from a wonder cure to like partial health. Okay? If somebody has got like chronic depression, then of course Ibogain can be quite helpful, but should be helped also by some other medication in the long run, because usually the depression basically is caused by a very low level of serotonin in the brain, which cannot be just reset like this. So basically, I would recommend a very intense intake of very specific dietary supplements, specific nutrition that contains certain chemicals, especially 5-hydroxytryptophan, which is the precursor of serotonin, among other things. So that's about the indications. Not counting, of course, normal healthy people that want to go through the Ibogain experience because of the possibility of reaching certain very specific areas with one's own consciousness, and also for the Ibogain's after effects, which last for some time, which is like complete mental and emotional stability, physically one feels very well and strong, stuff like that. Okay, next one, please. Well, I'll get to this. So maybe you'd be interested in how does it actually feel to go through an Ibogain experience. Many people ask me, is it similar to LSD? Is it similar to mushrooms or ecstasy? Not really. I think that my guys over here agree with this. Ibogain is chemically different from these substances, and also the effect is different. So basically it works like this. One ingests the capsules that contain this powder of Ibogain. It dissolves in the stomach, and they start to feel the effect usually within 40 to 50, 60 minutes. Usually the onset is quite slow, and it feels like a sense of warmth in the body, which is especially present for people that abuse opiates, because when the withdrawals start, then one feels very cold from the inside. So they feel this sense of warmth coming over their body, which like takes away these withdrawals, and then one feels like this sense of relaxation that goes into a state like where you don't feel much arms and legs, and you don't feel basically the whole body, you're just inside your head. You start to feel buzzing, flashes of light. You can feel like you start to rotate the whole bed, and then suddenly these inner screens pop up, or one big screen, and different visions and insights come into this screen, and it's the start of the peak, which lasts for about 2 hours. After 2 hours, this inner screen switches off. You start to feel more your body, and you feel very exhausted physically, mentally, and this exhaustion goes away very, very slowly in the course of the following hours. And usually you start to feel back in shape after 40, 48 hours after the start of treatment. It takes about 10, 12 hours before you're able to reach the toilet by yourself and back to bed. But basically it's not a painful experience. It's just tiring of this this bullet hangover lasts a long time and goes away very slowly. A lot of people are really frightened of the Ibogain. They usually read on the internet a lot of things about Ibogain. Some in favor, some against, contradictory information, and of course, partially it's just the fear of change, the fear of something that can really deliver a change, and in a way that one doesn't really know in what direction is it going. And lately I thought that maybe one thing that I could do, not over here in Sweden, of course, but for example in France, where I got my treatment place, is to offer at the treatment place a test dose that basically cannot harm anybody, but that gives you like the information, the feeling of it. You can have an idea what the Ibogain is, and then you can decide to go for the treatment if you need it or not. So just a thought that I have. Okay. One thing that I'd like to transfer to you is like a sort of vision for the future, how the future Ibogain should be handled and give the maximum of benefit to the single individual and to the society. Nowadays, Ibogain, is just in hands of lay treatment providers like me, which often don't have any backup from any clinic or no proper setup or environment how to do this treatment. And of course, it has two downsides. First is a lack of proper safety measures, and second, reduced effectiveness very much. In many cases, it's really a pity that you manage to provide very powerful, effective detox, and then you just have to let the person go home on the third or the fourth day, not without withdrawals, without cravings, but the person, especially if it's the street junkie, just is not prepared for such a big change and to start again. So he relapses, and most of the work, the money of the parents, the effort, everything is just thrown away out the window. Fortunately, at least I count on the partial cooperation of the clinic in Prague that does the medical screening for me, for my clients. I took them there. They have like medical checkups, including EKG, blood and urine tests, and 24 hours afterwards, within 24 hours, the clinic calls me with the evaluation of the medical checkup, provides me with different additional medications that I need during and after the treatment. So my personal situation, treatment-wise, is much better than also the rest of the Ibogain treatment providers. They can just accept the person, give them, administer them the Ibogain, and then see what happens. And of course, this is not the right way. So I'll give you now these visions how Ibogain could be used in the future. One, the main condition, of course, is for the Ibogain to get registered as a medication. And for every substance, in order to get to this point, needs to go through the clinical trials, which there are different phases of the clinical trial. Phase number 1, healthy volunteers. Phase number 2, on people with the indication that we want to treat. Phase number 3, where they on a bigger sample of people with already a certain treatment approach, dosage, and stuff. And this, of course, costs a lot of money, takes a lot of time, and is the work that pharmaceutical companies usually do. Unfortunately, so far, the pharmaceutical company decided to invest in developing the Ibogain medication. And therefore, Ibogain basically is like non-existing. So, let's imagine that Ibogain is already registered as medication, and we can see how the whole process, I think, should be conceived. Okay, this is first step, of course, always the complete medical checkup, including the laboratory analysis that I told you about, and in case of people on opiates, of course, stabilization on LSD, for example, just walking sulfate. I think that oxycontin must be the same, almost the same. Next one. Okay, improvement of physical conditions, which is important because Ibogain is very physically demanding, and people that are physically not in the right shape or have like some health issue that might be a serious contraindication with the Ibogain treatment, then it's not good. So it's always good first to improve the physical conditions as possible, so that it will really easy first, like running through the treatment, and of course it will improve the safety of the whole process. This improvement of physical conditions first through movement, like swimming, jogging, fitness, through food, that means a balanced diet. You know that addicts, they don't care about what they eat, if they eat enough, if they drink enough water or food, and many addicts physically deteriorate very rapidly, not much because of the use of drugs, but because of their lifestyle, or non-existence of lifestyle in this sense. So they first need to be taught again how to eat properly, drink enough fluids, and also they have to be given like specific dietary supplements so that the whole process is even better. I think that the main dietary supplements that should be used in this case that relate to the brain function are omega-3 fatty acids, lecithin, and then there are specific dietary supplements like very different as Connect that contains many things from 5-HTP to B-complex to trimethylglycine, stuff like that. There's piracetam, which has got neuroprotective effects, ginkgo biloba, and other small drugs. Next one, please. So after all this preparation, we can proceed with the first Ibogain treatment, which will be done in a clinical setting, in a specialized Ibogain treatment unit, provided with almost the same equipment like an intensive care unit, so that anything would happen, then they can be helped to go through any difficult moment, and they will have all vital signs monitored in real time. That means online EKG monitoring, oximeter for the measurement of the level of oxygen in the blood, pulse, you name it. Next one. Okay, especially in case of opiate addiction, it's very helpful to have follow-up treatment about 2-3 weeks later. It usually really does the difference. It's like the first treatment opens, like cleans most of the problems, withdrawals, cravings, and opens the gate that enables the second treatment to go even deeper and clean the rest. I found it very important in most of the cases. In case of like the person doesn't want to go through it and from the next crack cocaine addiction, stuff like that, then it's not that important. But in this case, it would be important to have like several small Ibogain dosages in the course of the following weeks or months. Next one. Okay, rehab. 1 or 2 months. Of course, it will be important that during these 2 months, the rehab provide all the most effective additional therapies that would help the whole process. Addiction is not just about the chemical dependency itself. It's a whole bunch of other factors involved, and these have to be addressed as well, and that should be done in the rehab in the course of the following 2 months. Also, one very important thing is time. It's important that the addict has got the time to adjust to all these changes. So for most of them, it's just impossible to really change one's own life from one day to another just because the withdrawal free or trade free. You can ask also Michael, Paul, Dr. Michael, that, for example, the problem is the time. Before the day was filled with trying to get money for the stuff, looking for the stuff, taking the stuff, suddenly so different, you know. So, I mean, from the point of view of a non-addict, it can appear quite strange, but that's the reality. So time is very important and effective, complementary, additional treatments. Next one, please. Okay. Maybe I combine this point with another one, which is called the momentum. Momentum means like a force that doesn't stop at once, but still goes on till with lesser and lesser strength, because it doesn't have like the initial power. It's like when you go out of the window of a running car, the stone just continues going on. Okay, so let's say you stop in one moment the chemical dependency, but some of it has got its own momentum, and it takes about a year to stop. So there's still this like Ibogain, this addiction-related addiction momentum that goes on for about a year. It's still connected with the fact that time plays an important role. Now, Ibogain has got also its own momentum. In the short term, it's much stronger than the momentum of the addiction, but the addiction momentum is longer. So it's very important during this first year to have follow-up Ibogain treatments, either like several strong ones, like full dose, for example, 4 within the first year, or several low doses, like test doses every 1 or 2 weeks. So just to keep up the level, so that this addiction momentum is as weak as possible. So basically, it's like 2 months in the rehab. So then 1 month normal life, but follow-up Ibogain treatments. And I think I can be pretty sure that if in the future this would be available to every addict to see, the problem of addiction will be completely different throughout the world. And for the simple reason, basically what does the work, what does the job is the Ibogain. And I don't know about anything else about Ibogain that would be so effective taking away the chemically induced cravings. And that's really the trick. should I get into this? It's not very fun for me, but people always ask me, how come that you got into something so strange like this? Have you taken care of yourself, or why? No, I've never taken any hard drug in my life. I don't consider psychedelics hard drugs, so I can say I haven't taken any hard drugs. And I was very much interested into everything that concerns consciousness and different techniques of work with consciousness. And of course, at a certain point, I wanted to be helpful to the society. But again, from my point of view, to really help somebody means to help the person to change from inside, from within. And Ibogain basically combines these two things in an excellent way. It's quite an effective way to work with the human consciousness in the sense of transpersonal psychology. And second, its therapeutical effect and indication is simply phenomenal. So that's a few words about how I got into this. I simply mentioned that addiction is not just about the chemical dependency, but that there are other factors involved in it. And that's related to the thing, why it's so difficult for the general public to understand really what Ibogain is really about, especially when they ask me about the success rate. You see, addiction is not like cancer. We either treat cancer or we don't. Addiction is a mixture of factors, and the chemical dependency is just one of them. So the person can relapse very easily, even after a very successful Ibogain detox, because simply the other factors are not in place, like age, lifestyle support from the environment, you name it, you know. So people always ask me, why don't you please, for example, keep loyalty, or in the US it's Robert Downey Jr. You know, then everybody would know about Ibogain and stuff like that. And this is kind of tricky, you know, because the detox can be tremendous, but then this guy just relapsed apparently without any reason just a couple of months ago. And what would the people say? Know that he just fucked up. The Ibogain didn't work. So that's a bit the tricky part. Now, I'd like to mention also one aspect about addiction that is not very well known. Addiction is not just about being dependent to a certain substance, but it really does affect the personality of the person chemically. So the person is not really that same person like before when he's on drugs. I mean, in many cases it's more subtle, and in other cases it's like very evident. In the brochure that I wrote in 2001, I wrote, it's as if addictive drugs have a personality of their own, which covers the original one. It's like being possessed. It doesn't matter if you were a good guy with a nice scale of values, honest, or a thief and a liar, whatever. You become the drug. The drug lies, steals, unreliable, has a flat note of life. Only one priority, the drug. After the Ibogain eliminates addiction, the drug's pseudo personality slowly disappears. The formerly reliable, honest person becomes reliable and honest again, usually. A thief and a liar continue to be a thief and a liar. And I'd like to show you this graphically, in a very symbolic way, and also the other things. And that incident has been very nicely presented, almost unintentionally, in film Lord of the Rings. I suppose that most of you have seen that film. Is anybody here that has seen the film Lord of the Rings? Okay, you'll see the little piece now with my comments. So first, you'll see how the person is like possessed by this drug's pseudo personality, which is the king, and also like afterwards the ineffectiveness of the standard treatment procedures in dealing with the craving and with taking away this personality change. This is Gandalf, the Grey. This is the King, the Egg. This is the ineffectiveness of standard treatment procedures.
You have no power here. Stand down and pray.
Okay, now Gandalf the Grey will become Gandalf the White because he's just covered now, so now shows himself like Gandalf the White, which is the Ibogain, and yeah.
I will draw your son as poison is drawn from our wound.
Now the Ibogain treatment starts. And it's quite intense, but also quite short. As I told you, the peak lasts only 2 hours basically. These are like the residual withdrawals that you had during the course of the 48 hours that the treatment lasts. So it's a process where basically the Ibogain and chemical dependency just spike. The drug's cellular personality that gets divided from the person. This is basically how the person feels right after the peak for quite some time. It's, as I said, very physically and mentally exhausting. Now you can see the person really changing in front of your eyes almost as quickly as you can see in this case.
Så vi kliver på med att ställa frågor om en gång, eller ska vi ta och släppa in en bättre?
Ja.
Då frågar jag mig en gång. Då är det öppet för frågor och det funderar på. Ni kan ta på engelska eller svenska. Ja.
Yes, I have 2 questions for you. First of all, thank you for the presentation. It was really interesting. And my first question is, when I sit here and listen to you and Micke, it sounds really amazing. You know? But my question to you is, are there no negative side effects with Ibogain that you know of?
Like long-term side effects.
Yeah. Because to me it sounds like a miracle cure.
Yeah, not that I know. If you survive the first 2 days, then it's fine. I mean,
Are there known like that people have taking very seriously health damages during the cure?
So maybe no. No, you see, Ibogain has been tested quite intensively in preclinical studies on animals, and on a therapeutical dosages, it doesn't show any sign of toxicity. So the Ibogain itself is not really toxic, you know. The only danger is that it's very physically demanding, and therefore it has to be treated cautiously. But Ibogain itself is not toxic, and all the people that are treated, if they didn't feel afterwards like residual withdrawals or cravings, they felt fine, they felt back alive, all positive stuff. And if I would think that the Ibogain might have some negative side effects, toxicity, I wouldn't have taken it myself. I've taken it 3 times in the last 6 years, the full dose.
And then you have taken it for the experience itself.
Yeah, and also to have like first-hand experience with it when I work with it, of course. And you see, I really try to lead a healthy lifestyle. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I'm vegetarian, all that stuff. So, and I've given it to two of my former girlfriends, friends.
If you don't have these safety measures, that
You then go back to the second person.
Yeah, that was the question. Because I didn't really understand what is it with the Ibogain that takes away the craving, or example, opiates. Is it the experience itself, or is it something in the Ibogain that goes to the brain and blocks, like
well, as
the
far
craving?
as I could have observed, it's in both levels, physical, mental, level of, call it hardware and software. So even if you don't experience anything transpersonal or any vision stuff during the treatment, which is possible, still like it's got a huge effect detox-wise. As soon as it starts to have an effect, you feel like it's all the time. So definitely it's a physical sort of reset of the brain neural receptors. But there's also something going on that very on a more subtle level, like consciousness. If you read the brochure, I wrote there like the mechanism, the patterns that I observed that take place in the treatment.
Okay, thank you.
This was related to the safety question. If you don't have these measures, ECG and the things, what is the risk? What could happen possibly during the treatment?
Well, for example, too much aspirin. Well, I personally give like set dosages, so I first look how the person reacts and then top up accordingly in order to reduce the risk. But very important is the food intake. One doesn't feel thirsty at all, the stomach is upside down. And after some time, usually you have to force the person to start to drink bit by bit, to hydrate, which is connected again with the heart function, you don't just stress, stuff like that. But
Is there a risk for cardiac arrest?
but you see, the point is that statistically, the more people you treat, the more the chance that something goes wrong arises, but always in 100 people, you get 1 or 2 cases where you do this right drug. But usually the treatment goes very smoothly, you know. You just give it, the person lies down calmly, he looks like sleeping or almost sleeping, then he just relaxes, then he's fine again, you know, like nothing extraordinary. Yes?
Yes, I guess for a pharmaceutical company to invest money in such a drug, they would like to find out the kind of general effect of the drug for everyone, for common people. So do you know if this drug has any effects on like sugar craving or kind of mean to lose weight, or so that this kind of general effect for everyone?
Well, it doesn't have any particular effect in this way, unless it's connected with something more psychological, that, you know, and this is just a symptom of it, but no, it's not considered like particularly useful for these indications.
No.
Can I just say, that drives up eye treatment. I suddenly had an incredible desire to look after my body. I used to drink like 40 or 50 cups of coffee a day, and after the treatment, I don't drink caffeine after 12 hours a day. My red meat intake has just completely kind of gone down from a scale of 1 to 10 down to kind of like 2. And also sugar. I don't eat as much sugar as well. And that was just talking about side effects. That was a side effect that I kind of got. It's desire to look after your body. So it kind of does work in a kind of way like that, you just said.
Yes?
And you said you had been doing this since 2000. Do you have any statistics on your early patients? Yes. What are their state today?
Well, you see, it's a little problem with statistics because it's usually very hard to keep in touch with these people. You know, you know them usually just for a couple of days, and they have their own lives, and also they realize ashamed to you know, to report. So it's quite difficult to keep these statistics. But as I said, Ibogain is just about freedom of choice. And basically, it's mainly a detox, and it's something that gives you a new opportunity to make some decisions in your life without this constant pressure of the craving. And you see, it's not like just Ibogain yes or Ibogain no. It's very important if you give Ibogain just once or several times during the year. I mean, there are so many factors that such as statistics really doesn't mean, but I mean, it won't be more than I guess I can fairly say that it's between 20 and 40% nowadays. But of course, if it would be done in the concept that I showed you, it would be definitely much above 50%, 70, maybe 80. I'm pretty confident about that.
Kan jag säga something? Yes. Jag vill svara lite grann att jag försöker få kontakt själv med jättemånga som har gått igenom behandling och så. Och just det här som Patrick säger, att de som blir rena och klarar sig, de vill bara lägga bort sitt gamla tanke. De vill inte tänka på det. De har missat så mycket. Eller vi har missat så mycket. Jag kan på så här. Men de flesta brakar vidare i livet och lägger bakom sig. De som tar återfall, de skäms. Och de gick inte heller fram och berättar om det. Så jag tror att det är det som är knepigt med statistiken. Och just om det inte finns någon uppföljning och eftervård i det. Utan det är lite grann som jag sa, att man ger dem det här under några dagar som är borta. Jag tror att det är det som är problemet.
Jag frågar. Alltså det här är en avgiftning. Men alltså det är en beroende personlighet, den finns kvar. Förstår du? Har man levt med en narkoman i 20 år, så liksom, det är så invant. Alltså, varenda cell i kroppen är ju narkoman. Liksom. Jag har ju själv hållit på, liksom, har varit rådkring i 3,5 år. Hela min beroende personlighet finns kvar. Och det är det jag jobbar med idag. Fortsatt rehabilitering måste ju vara nödvändigt. Det kan inte bara, man är en ny människa. Socialt och så alltså. Om du tar en heroinist ner på plattan, ner till Prag, avgiftar honom, så kommer han hem. Man måste bygga upp socialt liv och det här, så måste ju fortsätta.
Jag tror nu att jag liksom Swedish. Jag tycker att i varje fall min egen erfarenhet så är livssituationen allt nästan. Alltså man kommer hem, jag kom hem, totalt avgiftad. Och det var så att 8 timmar över per dag. Och visste vad jag skulle göra. Och då hade jag lite tur, för att jag kunde styra in livet på annat än det gamla vanliga. Det var 8 timmar över som tydligen gick åt ett verksättning förut. Som är borta över att träna istället. Och jag har märkt att många som jag har pratat med, framförallt grabbar, vill träna, de vill sköta sig så. De har varit med folk bra. Alla är ute går i skogen och tränar och lyfter in och så här. På något sätt för att återerövra kroppen. Det kan inte man säga.
Men det är ju skitviktigt det han säger här framför mig. Alltså, angående just om du har lite speciella förhållanden. Du har ju en personlighet som är jävligt driven. Då. Många människor har ju precis som han säger här. Knarkar personligheten i sig, helt körd på alla plan, med familj, med myndigheter, med vänner, lever bara med kraftig ångest. Okej, jag förstår att det här handlar om någonting alltså, som en kontroll-alt-elit på en dator liksom, startar från början. Men ändå så tror jag inte man kan radera alla sina minnen och sina beteenden. Det vore ju bara helt otroligt.
Det är inte så att man blir med och tar här, kan skita i allt och så fixas livet.
Nej, precis. Det är skitviktigt att säga det. Så det är det handlar om. Alltså den här...
Det är vårt jobb. Men det jag fick och det man får några månader på sig och fatta de beslut utan att ha trycket av abstinensen på sig. Och sen är det så, har man oflyt och då är det omständigheter, whatever, så klarar man kanske inte. Har man bara starka vänner, har man bara kvartro och allting, då är sannolikheten att man trillar dit ganska stor.
Men det viktigaste som jag tror du måste säga, det är att ansvar gäller ju hela tiden från man kommer hem därifrån. Alltså att du måste ta ansvar för ditt liv.
Ja,
du får ett, vad jag förstår här nu, frid från suget så att säga. Va? Och du måste ta ansvar för den tiden för att förändra det.
Och det ska det börja funka på så måste det finnas en sorts något som får upp när man kommer tillbaka. Jag kan säga att jag har tur, jag lyckades då. Jag har rätt omgivning, jag har flytt. Men det är oerhört många som har haft naturen. Så att det är klart att jag hänger upp med Ibogain. Men det jag saknade lite grann när jag kom hem, det var att jag hade ingenting att göra på begravningen. Jag hade ingenting att göra. Jag var någonstans valde jag bort knarkarpolarna och knarkar så här. Jag hade ingenting att göra. Kunde börja träna då och det var fint för mig. Många kanske inte ens har råd att gå in. Så att, men det är svårt jobb. Men det är jag har inte någon så massa gånger till det. Och jag har fått tipa alla gånger så på sista. Det är annorlunda. Det är lite svårt att exakt förklara. Men det är svårt jobb man får göra. Men förutsättningen är så mycket bättre. På vilket sätt?
Jag menar, sitta på fängelse i så många år, har
majoritet och ingenting. Det var samma förutsättningar där. Men vad gjorde förändringen nu?
Alltså jag kan inte sätta fingret på det. Jag har hört en bra grej som har med skidåkning att göra. Jag brukar säga att man hänger på något där och så plötsligt går gummibandet av. Att när man, och så jag kände, när jag kom ut, efter 3-4 dagar så bara kände jag att shit, jag har snart klart. Och så, nu har jag inte gått 7 månader, men jag har läst 200-100 fallrapporter, tipprapporter, fallbeskrivningar. Och i och för sig är det klart de som har, nästan alla som jag har läst är folk som har lyckats. Jag vet inte vad det finns för något gemensamt. Det är liksom varje dag kan på något sätt ha känt förutsättningar som är väntan på nästa återfall. Och här har det känts rent. Jag kan inte förklara det så jäkla bra annars, men det funkar.
Med Ibogain.
Ja, det gjorde det inte bara. Det är 100% den enda orsaken. Jag var på det vi upp.
Och så kanske, är det kemisk påverkan eller vad tror du? Jag har inte tänkt på det. Jag har inte fått svaret på det.
Fråga Patrick, vad tror du att det är en kemisk...
He asked what was different from all other times. Was something chemical that happened. And I tried to remember how I felt, and I don't know if it's chemical stuff or if it's a feeling. It's the addiction has stopped. Det bara, alltså beroendet slutade. Kanske lite grann, men alla blir lika mycket hela tiden.
Well, in the course of these 6 years, more, it seems like that this craving is like so much the wish to feel better, or at least to feel normal. When you stop taking the drug, mainly the heroin, okay, even though you don't have any more the physical withdrawals, for a long time you feel this incredible emptiness inside, this void that just cannot be fulfilled with anything. Nothing makes sense, everything's gray, you don't feel like living anymore. And then you struggle with this feeling day by day, and that's what the craving really to take at least a little bit of this drug in order to feel normal, at least for a short time. You know, even with downside that you get addicted again, you know. That's why it's so difficult to keep clean after a normal detox, just because of this incredible sense of void that is left from the drug. And Ibogain somehow is able to take away this sense of void. You feel whole again. And it's done mostly chemically, somehow in the brain.
You have just not sense of boredom.
Tomhet. Nej, men då är det ju en kemisk grej. Det fyller ju på signalsubstanserna som gör att det känns prima igen på något vis. Serotoninhalten höjs måste det vara med det här.
Well, I don't think that serotonin is very much involved in withdrawals and cravings.
I mean, when you don't have the void feelings,
yeah.
That must be the serotonin that is
No,
fulfilled in some way, no? There's no...
do more with dopamine and stuff, but you know, I really don't want to get into this very scientific stuff. On my website, you can download. If you're very much interested into these scientific things, you can download a very detailed article about what Ibogain does from the scientific point of view. And okay.
Yeah, would you say that in this Ibogain experience, except for the chemical balance that is re-established, would you say that there is something in this interpersonal experience during the treatment period that adds something that goes beyond this chemical balance?
Yes, but in all cases, and often this influence is very subtle, you know. It affects levels of your consciousness that are not very much evident, and it was primarily say like the physical action, the physical aspect of the brain chemistry. And of course, it was interested more into the patterns of how Ibogain affects the person on a transpersonal level with our basically the themes of the patients. They release one or two brochures. And, I wrote it in 2001, but as far as this is concerned, I don't have much to add.
But what I meant was that, as I see it, that this is definitely a different thing. That what separates this rehabilitation from other rehabilitation this experience. Because we were talking about after the withdrawal when you are free.
Yeah. Yes, but the experience that you have in the peak is not that crucial, you know. And I also think that it really has the potential to become a very mainstream love treatment with the proper clinical trials. Okay.
One type of addiction that's biologically considered to be very similar to drug addiction is gambling. And I wonder, with all your patients, is there anyone in addition to drug?
Unfortunately,
gambling that's a take away?
I haven't done anything like that.
You know from the literature?
I haven't found anything about that. So we don't know. There's all the research still to be done. Sorry, was somebody else?
I read something about that Ibogain transforms into nor-Ibogain and stays in the liver for a period of time after the treatment.
Not in the liver, in the fat tissue.
Okay, I think I read in the liver. So
that's Dr. Mash's theory, but I'm not a scientist, but I don't think that this is really the reason that Ibogain has such a long-term effect.
Okay.
That's my personal feeling about it, and I don't want to argue about it. But every substance is metabolized into something else. And, but the work basically is done by the Ibogain during these 2 hours. And if the Ibogain stays in the body a little bit longer, in that case, that's important. Yes?
So how much you have to pay for the treatment?
How much? Well, that depends really on how much that Ibogain treatment provider charges, where, and how much you want to consider like special cases, like charity cases. Usually the price is, for example, in the UK there's Edward who charges £1,000, which is below
För mig kostade resor upp till en läkarlaktör ungefär 15 000 kronor per behandling. Och då snarare liksom inte.
Det var det prövat.
Ja, jag gjorde 2 gånger sprit och 2 operater.
So about slightly less than 1,000 euros
Yes, you told us you have an interest in altered state of consciousness and transpersonal psychology. One of the...
That's how I actually got into this.
Yes. So, in transpersonal psychology, Stan Grof has developed LSD therapy. Do you see any kind of similarity between the LSD therapy and this Ibogain therapy? You said both are psychoactive. So.
Yes. Well, firstly, it's chemically different from the Ibogain. Okay, so both are psychoactive, but they're chemically different, and that's one major difference. I see the similarity, one similarity in the momentum. You know, I've read something about the studies that have been done with LSD on alcoholics, how effective it was. But basically it showed that even though it was very effective, the momentum was much shorter, so it delivered really more long-term effect in case that the person was treated more on a regular basis with LSD during the first year. And also this is quite a huge similarity. With LSD, I don't know, I'm taking it myself twice or three times. My friends have taken it, and mostly it seems that the person just gets back very quickly to the way he used to be before. There's not such a big evident like after effect. So I mean there are different observations on this. So I don't have myself like a very clear idea on how much the LSD can be really effective long term and in different indications. But definitely I would be in favor in continuing the studies on the treatment of alcoholism with LSD. But it's really everything I can say about.
May I comment? You are speaking about these screens people taking the drugs are seeing, and Stan Grof is speaking about what is called compiled experiences that you meet in visions when you take the LSD drugs. Do you believe that these screens are kind of something that has got a traumatic experience in it? Or traumatic, yes? No, not traumatic, no. So they're not charged with any kind of anxiety or so.
Some material that comes from deeper levels of your own consciousness, and maybe also from even deeper or higher levels of reality. Not just speculation, but
do you see these screens as kind of spiritual thing, or kind of cell memories, or kind of something that comes from past lifetimes, or?
I haven't encountered any cases of spontaneous regression, like regression therapy during the Ibogain, so I don't think that it goes within these things. But please, just read what I read on the brochure.
When you talk about your vision of future of Ibogain, and you mentioned the problem that you also envision a form of psychological consulting.
Yes, that was, I mean, I have quite clear, I have I think good ideas about what could be included in these additional complementary therapies.
Like Michael said,
there's a lot to be done of the rounding, in the rehab. But that's for another presentation.
Yeah, and then have to have someone go to, like, if you don't have that safety net once you get that.
Jag håller på lite grann här som just för att märka att uppföljningen är viktig. Jag håller på att leta min tanke här, när jag ska samla in pengar för att jag ska behandla folk utomlands så länge olagligt och här när det blir lagligt och tusen månader. Men de måste följas upp. Jag letar olika möjligheter och har fått bra respons hos KIS som jag har haft några möten med de här tidningarna från samhället. De tycker på mycket massa pengar och massa resurser som de inte riktigt vill utnyttja och de är intresserade av något sorts samarbete. De är intresserade av sådana här. Tanken på gång kanske jag vet vad det är innan. Det var i alla fall något viktigt som jag får med.
Det är där uppdaterat och när det är likadant som då liksom skriver av oss och börjar på bättre då gör som text. Så måste också förändra en viss del. Ja, det är som du säger, det står liksom 12 timmar av per dag så vet vad fan du ska göra av. Jag har själv på detta i 3 och ett halvt år. Så det är inte fråga bra liksom. Färdig. How should you treat a person that you have method on right now? So from down to you, Clark,
how many milligrams a day?
90 milligrams.
90 milligrams?
Yeah.
That's a bit too much. It would be better if you would just go down to 30 somehow. And I could switch you to morphine sulfate for several days, and then we could start the treatment provided that the medical checkup is okay, you improve your health conditions, your stuff. But I mean, there have been guys that think there are treatment providers that accept people like you right away, but I consider it to be quite a high risk, and the treatment is not very smooth, but again, I wouldn't do it. Louder, please.
Are there any other of the alkaloids in the root part that have a therapeutic value?
Yeah, I guess most of them, but this is an area that has not been researched properly. So some people say that these alkaloids don't have by far similar effect like Ibogain, only adds to like the toxicity in the sense of pressure on the body. So I don't know.
In your treatment, they use pure
hydrochloric.
And how does the experience differ when you take the isolated alkaloid from when you eat only the root part?
Not much. No, I've never treated anybody with the total accident. So I only know what people told me. The total extract usually contains just about 10 to 15% Ibogain. And it varies very much from batch to batch. Other questions?
Is there a risk if people don't start to use this on street?
Abuse potential? No. You see, it's not addictive. On the opposite, on the opposite, it's quite empowering experience, and it's simply wrong. You know, the problem is if it would become more popular and more people would try to use it on their own, then there are some deaths and new deaths would come up, which could also harden the possibility of possibly the Ibogain becoming an education because then it could be used like a very dangerous substance, so it could be a tricky thing. Also, what I'm doing, there is some level of risk, and somebody will die, and partly and get into deep shit, but also to compromise the whole project. So it's not easy really to see what is right and wrong.
How do you know how much to give dose to different methamphetamines, to morphine? Do you give different doses?
Yes, different doses.
Experience. Is there any problem with people with HIV?
No, unless the liver is not totally messed up. Yeah, unless the viral load is reasonable, no problem.
So you have taken the full dose?
Yes, 3 times.
Yes. But you weren't addicted to anything?
No.
No. So how would you describe this experience as influenced you? Because in your case it was not a question of becoming clean from being addicted.
So I'm taking it mostly for transpersonal purposes. Yeah.
But you would still attest that this has had some influence on your person in some way?
Slightly, sometimes slightly harmful in this way. You see, I mean, it's more about reset. You know? It's like, for example, it's like more balanced, centered, or less. You know? And the less centered, the less balanced one is, the more is evident, like the reset mechanism of like person. But if you're closer, you know, to the center, you don't see many differences. You know, like you wouldn't tell much. Well, actually, my friends really, for some time, they did the live like before Ibogain, after Ibogain, but you don't see that much difference like the people with the more serious problems. And about my personal experience, see, it depends very much on the personal ability or predispositions to enter states of consciousness or not. You know? And if not, then a person can have no visions at all and just fall asleep. You know? And for some other person, it's like the ultimate experience. They get such incredible experiences. So it varies a lot what you can experience on
Are beings used by native people?
Yep.
Have you compared the experience experiences by native people
yeah, according to the literature, if you compare what I've written and what's being written about the experiences of the Africans, there's not much, and there's not very much similarities, like two completely different tribes. Only lately, maybe I found some slight similarities, because the Africans usually see like the ancestors. It's like a form of contact with the ancestors, and I have almost mentality with this. Only lately, two people maybe that remember, yes, there was this role of people, and in this role I recognized my grandfather, something like that, and felt that they like the ancestors. Apart from that, no similarities. Strangely.
Could you attribute this to the cultural context? Experiences maybe?
The cultural context disappears quite a bit. Ibogain is very much centered to your life. For example, you can see very quickly everything, every occasion in your life where either you hurt somebody hurt you. You can see how you felt in that moment, how the other person felt doing this stuff to you. It's from a higher perspective, and very quickly, but not cultural, different things, but not really cultural conditioning.
Några funderingar?
I can't imagine that I really covered the whole thing so much that you can't come up with any questions. Because of this, or something connected with Scandinavian? Yes. Good answer.
Om ni bara som en liten sida, om ni tar med lapparna sen, jag skulle snacka om det finns en hemsida här som vi håller på att bygga upp som ska handla om Ibogain bara. Den är kopplad till forum, det är bara att klicka in sig på forumet, så där kan man ställa massa frågor. Man kan också ställa frågor ner till Patrick, han har fått en egen tråd. Den som skriver på engelska. Och kan man inte på engelska så finns det också en anvisning, så översättning och så. Så att hemsidan är inte klar, det är en massa byggnationstid, men det är i alla fall en rullar på. Och det forumet funkar, det finns trådar, man som är vanliga forum, man ställer frågor och man får svara. Så att, är det inga mer frågor så ska jag vara avslut. Tack så jättemycket att ni kom allihopa. Det var den största skolan som skulle komma och som gjorde det. Tack.
Ja. Barn kan bli
Så kan det vara, för då blir jag lite fullt annorlunda. Men du förstår, det är lite en musikant som kan komma för. Jag tycker jag kommer, men han är olika, så kommer jag på. Så det är också ett grej som jag har varit mycket om i egentligen branschen. En namn man måste göra, i alla fall komma, man måste visa det, och alla blir det inte.
You know what the just so that I said it before you accurately, I was going to show you in a word. What are you feeling on the project? Just so that I know when you make the story. What are you on talking about and the potential? What would you like to go on there? I think it's also
I think det känns som att man gör det alltså.
Ja. Ja, det är viktigt. Så det är också svårt att exponera på det och titta själva på det är så nästan. Men det kan man säga lite. Så det är